Welcome to the podcast, Leading and Growing Your Real Estate Business by Coach James Short. This podcast is designed to help you with strategies, insights, and ways to increase sales, build and lead high-performing teams, and ultimately grow your business. Your host, James Short himself, also shares some of his secret sauces on how he helps his own clients achieve business growth quickly and easily. James has been coaching those in the real estate and property industry for close to 10 years now, and his clients keep on saying, since working with James, their results have been outstanding, giving them more money, time, and fulfillment. James is offering a free strategy call to those listening to see how he can assist you to take your business to where you want to go. Simply go to jamesshort.com.au/strategy and book in a time today. Now on with the show.
Cool. Welcome to our case study series, and we're excited to have Jo Johnson from Joanne Johnson Designs here with us today. So, Jo, welcome.
Thank you. Hi.
I love it. So, Jo, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who's your target audience? Who do you help?
So, my background's in styling, and certainly over the last 12 months, I've built my presence in renovations, specifically cosmetic renovations, targeting people that are either selling or putting their property on the market to rent, and just working with my clients, primarily real estate agents and their vendors, just to make it a smooth transaction so that the place can be looking fantastic when they're about to either sell or rent their property.
Love it. Fantastic. And so before we met, what was happening in your business?
Well, I guess before we met, this is all pre-COVID. So
Yeah.
I was definitely starting to see some growth in the market. Certainly people acknowledge the importance of preparing their properties at their very best to get an optimum price and also get the right caliber of either tenant or buyer. So definitely big amount of growth in my industry, and I'd recognised a need prior to starting the business for this type of service. So and big things on the horizon for growing the business, even in the current climate.
So true. So how would you describe your process for managing your business, your team, and your personally well-being prior for us working together?
Sorry, just the process of
managing your business. So when you think about before we started working together, how is your process for managing? Because you got to think about before you had a business which you sold as well, and you started this another business where you've gone some huge growth, and lovely COVID hit, but then you've continued to manage through that time, and you had some great growth as well. But what was it like before like that transition from the old business to then starting up this new business? How did you manage that process for the business side of things, but also for you personally?
Yeah, sure. Well, I guess coming from owning a relatively big business, which I'd started from scratch 11 years ago, what that did do is at least teach me what I needed to do to start again. But you nevertheless need to go through that same process of starting to build systems, sitting down and just physically looking at what you want from your business. What does this look like now, 6 months, 12 months, and really redefining a lot of the landscape around, how proposals are written, how you conduct meetings with clients. All that has to be redefined on your new business model. So I had to sort of go back to basics. And at the time I met you, I was sort of very much at the infancy of the business, doing what I'm doing now. And, it was an opportunity to sort of get things right from the start.
Yeah, love it. So good. And did you have any specific challenges that you faced around that initial stages the regrowth for the business and for you personally back then?
Sure. Well, I guess you are reinventing yourself to an extent. So it's about, I guess, gaining consumer confidence in what you do in your new role, and being able to demonstrate what you can do through examples of your work, through good case studies, through that trust and belief that I built up in my previous business, I kind of had to go back to rebuilding those connections and building new connections and finding new areas to grow my client base above and beyond where I previously had presence.
Love it. Love it. And what led you to a better way for growing your business? Like, obviously you started the new business, you got some growth, but what led you to look for a different way or a different solution?
It came down to not wanting all my eggs in one basket, so to speak. So what I did appreciate is that whilst one area of the business may be down, if there's, for example, a downturn in real estate, I need to make sure that I can capture business through other channels. So it's about having all those funnels lined up. So for example, looking at interior design and furniture sourcing for clients is another part of my business. Helping people that are moving property to a new property and helping them with that whole relocation process, I saw as both a necessity that wasn't necessarily being captured and an opportunity for me. And so it was about making sure that I didn't just have a single line of income coming through in the event that there is a downturn in one area.
Yeah, love it. Fantastic. And why did you decide to try working with myself? What was that turning point for you?
Simone dragged me in. No, with all good intentions. But you certainly came highly recommended, and I've worked with business coaches before, so I was familiar with the process. What I liked about what you brought to the table, and it certainly came out of our initial meeting and discussions about how you could help with my business, is you sort of approach it from a number of aspects. We look at, the self, we look at making sure that that's on track. We work on making sure that all our business processes are in place. We certainly have to make sure that, that we've got that commitment to daily routines and things that can easily lapse when you get into the depths of running your own business. So if I think about my morning so far, I've had to be on site at a job. I've, had to be involved in lots of little details that can detract from the bigger picture. So where I saw the merit in what you could help with is making sure that I kept on track and that I kept achieving those goals. And that's what we spent a lot of time doing up front, was just mastering what those goals look like, what it is I really want to achieve out of this, and making sure that I'm on track to get that, achieve those goals by the end of the year.
Fantastic. And how has the coaching helped you since we've been working together?
Definitely accountability is the big one, and you can't underestimate the importance of that. There's something about, I might miss the odd session, but I'll at least get back on track and listen to it through the Facebook channel that's available. So there's really no excuse to not sort of stay in tune with where you're meant to be. So those Monday morning 8 o'clock sessions are really good because it sort of gets your brain where it needs to be. And also connecting in with other people from different industries, but all in a similar sort of stage in business, and just learning from each other through the intensive sessions. I guess what you're able to prescribe is a number of different ways of making sure the businesses will succeed. And you're there for people. So I know if I was having a curly day, I could drop you a line and you tell me to put my Wonder Woman cape back on and off we go. So, yeah.
I've still got that image. I love it. That's so good. That is so good. How has the coaching helped with your mindset? Share a little bit about that. How's that been of assistance?
Well, I mean, I think the whole COVID thing that sort of started to evolve around the early part of March was a frightening time. We sort of went out there all guns blazing and big goals for the year, and then all of a sudden we felt crushed. I certainly felt crushed by what was happening, and at a loss as to what I was going to do to make sure that my business could survive, and a definite sense of what do I do from here. And you modified your way of working with your clients to make sure that they were getting that daily infusion of information and different ways of looking at things. So you suggested, let's do some videos, let's get some presence out there with clients, let's think about writing a book. Now, all things that in our day-to-day running of our operations we wouldn't necessarily think to do or think we have the time to do, but you're able to mastermind a great way that we can continue to do business, but just by thinking differently. And I truly believe that that's what kept me on track and pulled me out of the gutter at a time when, I felt quite helpless about the whole situation. So that's, as I say, being able to just know that lifeline, or there's that new way of thinking or new information or just things you hadn't necessarily thought about to work differently in the current climate. So that was a real saviour. Fantastic.
Great. And what are some of the specific results you've achieved so far with the coaching?
I keep harping on about being accountable, but I truly believe that that's such an important part, particularly working for myself and not having a team in the sense of an employee relationship. My accountability is to the broader team, which is, the tradespeople I work with, the real estate agents I consult with, their clients. So it's making me accountable to make sure I'm giving my very best so that I'm giving them the very best result. And that comes down to me having a positive mindset. So you spend a lot of time working with myself and your other people in the tribe on that specifically. And without that, I don't think you can be the best possible you. So I know if I'm out there doing my morning exercise, if I'm putting things in my calendar, if I'm learning new tricks of the trade and I'm putting all those things in place, I'm starting to build a bigger and better business, and I'm being better for my clients.
Fantastic. And have you hit any roadblocks throughout this time, and how have you got past them?
Certainly, initially when COVID came into play, if I look at my figures for February weren't fantastic because there was initially naturally some concern in the market about the viability of selling a property in the current climate. Luckily, the real estate world was very quick to adapt and started to do some clever things around virtual auctions and just doing whatever needed to be done to still get properties sold. So, I found that it was a great opportunity for me to start to think differently about the way I work. And certainly when you encouraged me to start doing some interviews, my confidence grew as a result of that. So if I look to my very shaky first interview to a later one, it certainly shows that you can do something even in the face of being a little bit freaked out about the whole process. And it's been very well received by people. They like to see the human side of you out there, showing how it's done and showing your commitment to what you're doing.
Yeah, fantastic. And what would you say to other business owners who are stuck in the process or hasn't even got started yet to growing their business? What would you say to them?
Definitely get online with you, because the tribe is a great tight-knit community of people that definitely want to serve and grow as individuals and grow their businesses. And you can't do that on your own, as good as you may be in your own individual skin. Everyone needs that push and that knowing that someone's there that has their back and will help them start to think about things and not give up on themselves. So I would say get the assistance, get the accountability, and just believe in yourself now more than ever, and know that you have amazing skills, but you do nevertheless need someone that's going to say, have you got the systems in place? Have you let's have a look at those. Have you got a means of working your database and dealing with the social media side of things and all the things that matter in business that, again, maybe as a sole trader or a small business owner you don't necessarily have a full handle on. Something like the coaching will just help to bring it all together and just keep you on track.
Fantastic. And what's the long-term view for yourself? What are the long-term plans?
I was on a job site this morning and I get really excited when I'm there. I genuinely love the smell of paint and grout, and I just love seeing things come together. So I just think if I can extrapolate that into a bigger business for myself, I can't help but be happy with that, because I can see what we can achieve in just 1 week for our clients and making massive difference to to their properties that I just want to keep growing this now. I believe I'm onto something very big and something very worthwhile and meaningful. So yeah,
Definitely.
I'm pushing hard in this area that I know I've got a talent for, and but you're a product of all the people around you. So, making sure I'm looking after my team, my broader team that I mentioned, and then I'm staying on track through the coaching system that will keep me doing what I'm meant to be doing and slap me around a bit when I'm not.
I love it. So where can people find out more about yourself, Jo? Where can you send them so they can go, wow, I'd love to find out more about Jo's journey, Jo's services. Where can you send them?
Definitely have a look at my Instagram site is probably the most up to date, and that filters through to my Facebook, which is Joanne Johnson Design. If you just look at that on Instagram, you'll find me and the latest projects that I'm working on.
Jo, I really appreciate your fantastic feedback and your words of wisdom, and really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.